In this video, guys, we're going to be talking about some crazy combos that you guys need to know, especially with the unbanning of Archnemeses Protos. Now, of course, guys, if you guys like the video, please go and leave a like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you stay updated every single time I post. Join my Discord as well, guys, and follow me on Twitch. I will be streaming very soon, guys. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright guys, so starting off my video, guys, again, like I said before, I do the basic combos, then I do more of the intense combos later on. So this is the first combo, guys. Before I start it, please go and leave a like if you're enjoying this or whatever, but we will start off with the first combo. It's going to be Emergence plus like any other worm or Swordsoul name. So from here we can go ahead and use Emergence to get Mo Yi. From here we can go ahead and proceed to normal Mo of the Yi. Why have Mo Yi when you can have less Yi or whatever it's called, but normal Mo Yi, reveal, summon up the token. From here we synchro away into our Shishao, and then chain link 1, chain link 2, depending on how you want to order it. It's usually chain link 1, chain link 2 because you want to protect the Shishao. And then from here we can go ahead and use Long Yuan's effect, discard out the other name that we revealed, and then synchro away into our Chengying, or we can go into evil Long Yuan. Honestly, teach your own. Personally, with the banning of Baron, this card's a lot better because now this card can interact with field spells, continuous spells, things of that nature, and this card can also banish monsters as well. I'm not too sure if it says if your opponent special, yeah, so it can banish the majority of them. Or no, you target one of them, right? So still evil Long Yuan's pretty good, but in general, it's better to end on this. The only time you really end on Chengying is if you have blackout access, or your opponent is going to be playing some sort of like graveyard deck, then Chengying gets really good. But that's it for the first combo. Make sure you always burn with Long Yuan for the 1500, so, or 1200, sorry. That's it for the first combo, guys. Super standard, super basic. Now let's get into the second combo. Alright guys, so now we are getting on to the second combo. Now again, the plays start to deviate depending on what it is. Now again, it's not really a 1-card combo deck, it's a 2 to 3-card combo deck. So again, this is just going to be Mo Yi, Long Yuan, and a name. So again, the attribute doesn't really matter personally, but you guys will see right here. So we go normal Mo Yi effect, reveal the Mo Yi, summon up the token. From here we go ahead and use Long Yuan discard to summon Long Yuan out, right? So now we have 2 tokens on the board, right? And it's really important here because previously we would have gone into Baron, play around the Nibiru, things of that nature, but now honestly we're just getting rewarded for being greedy. So we go into evil Long Yuan. We're going to use Long Yuan effect to burn in the graveyard, of course, and then we can go ahead and synchro summon into our Shishao. Now this is literally pot of greed plus engage, whatever you guys want to call it. This is crazy because we're gonna go chain link 1 Shishao, chain link 2 Mo Yi, and chain link 3 evil Long Yuan, or however way you want to do it. If you want to search first and draw, you know what I mean. But from here I did chain link 3 Shishao. So from here we go ahead and add the blackout, and then here we can go ahead and draw. So we draw anything. So we draw an Ass Blossom and a Heavenly Dragon Circle. So guys, just think about that, right? We basically ended on a monster negate. We ended on 2 disruptions as well. So this is 3 plus blackout, 4, 5 disruptions, plus we ended up drawing 2 cards as well, going plus ultra plus infinite. So that's it for like the first 2 combos. Again, like I said before, guys, very basic Swordsoul combos, nothing really to like be like, whoa, wow, that's kind of crazy. But now I will dive into like the deeper plays, and I guess you can say like how you really abuse this deck in this current format. All right guys, so now we are getting on to the third combo. Now the third combo is when it gets a lot more interesting, just because the plays start to deviate and you start to, you know, really see what this deck is capable of. So from here it's going to be Mo Yi, Long Yuan, and a name. So from here what we can do is we can go ahead and normal Mo Yi. Mo Yi's effect will trigger to go ahead and reveal the Shuda. This will go ahead and summon a monster out onto the field, so the token. Then from here we can go ahead and use Long Yuan's effect discard to summon it out, and then we get the token like that. So from here, guys, we will be doing the super standard play where we go into the evil Long Yuan, because honestly if they have Nib, like whatever, technically if you want to play around Nib, you just make the Shishao and then like see how you want to kind of manipulate and maneuver through it. But usually, like, you know, I mean, what can you do? But from here we go Mo Yi, and then Long Yuan will burn, and then from here we can go ahead and link our monsters away, or sorry, not link, synchro our monsters away into our Shishao. This will go chain link 1, chain link 2, chain link 3. You guys already know how it is. So Mo Yi and evil Long Yuan will draw. Now it's better to do it this way actually, and the reason why I showed it in the other way is just because if this way you draw into cards, then Shishao can search what you're missing, whereas if you do it that way, Shishao's searching and then you're hoping to draw. So, you know what I mean, you just want to lower the probabilities of doing it. From here you go ahead and add the Emergence. Now it's really good here because now if you guys look in our graveyard, we do have 3 monsters with different attributes, so meaning that we can go ahead and add the most broken card in this entire deck, which is Archnemeses Protos, aka the boss monster. Now this card says this: cannot be normal summoned or set, must first be special summoned from your hand by banishing 3 monsters with different attributes from your graveyard and or face on the field. So he can be summoned by banishing monsters on the field. So if you really need that extra attribute, you really need the dark or whatever lock that it is, you can go ahead and use Protos to banish that. And then on top of that, you can declare 1 monster attribute on the field, destroy all monsters on the field with that attribute, right? So note that 2 things here, okay? 1, he has to declare a monster attribute that's on the field, but he can declare himself, okay? Second off, destroy all monsters on the field with that attribute. also until the end of the next turn, right? It doesn't say and if you do then, so you do not have to destroy the monster successfully in order to apply his effect. So also at the end of the next turn, neither player can special on monsters with that attribute. Also, this card cannot be destroyed by card effects, right? So that's like a middle text, whatever, but it's really good. So again, you guys will see here, we can go ahead and banish the 3 monsters out of our graveyard to summon out our Archnemeses Protos. Now we can use Protos. So depending on what we play against, right? So you can lock fire depending, dark and light. It's safe to call dark usually game 1, especially with like Mallies and Tears and everything going around the format. But if you are afraid of the Fire King matchup, you know your opponent, maybe he goes to locals often, or maybe you've just seen him on YouTube or things of that nature, you can go ahead and summon up Protos. Protos call fire lock them. Now they cannot play that turn during their turn, right? They still might be able to do whatever, but I mean, Protos is crazy. On top of that, you can keep on doing it, man. It's just not right. And on top of that as well, guys, Blackout is crazy with Protos because it cannot be destroyed by card effects. And you can use Blackout to target Protos and pop 2 cards. So literally it's just like a free like plus infinity. So it is really good. And then you have cards like Xixing Yuan, and you have cards like Xixao that are just absolutely wild as well, guys. So that's it for the third combo. Again, like I was showing, that's just like a cool little combo where you can almost use and manipulate Protos. But now it's about to get really crazy in my fourth combo. Alright guys, so now we are getting on to the fourth combo. Now again, guys, this is going to be Mo Yi. It's going to be a name, and it's going to be Adhara. Technically it can be like any access to a level 1 tuner, but you guys will see exactly what I mean moving forward. So from here, guys, we can go ahead and normal summon Mo Yi, or sorry, special summon Adhara, of course, because they said if you control no effect monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. So again, very important to special out the 10 Ys. Don't listen to me when I said that. So we special out the 10 Yi first. Now we normal summon Mo Yi, and now we wrap it up. Mo Yi effect reveal. Summon out the token here, and then from here, guys, as long as the token's on the field, we are synchro locked. So again, you can't make a monk or whatever, but I mean, why would we make a monk? Because we're actually going plus ultra. So from here, we synchro summon our monsters away into boom, Denglong, first of the Yang Yang. For some reason, I thought he was fifth of the Yang Zing. But Denglong has the effect where it says, if this is special summon, you can add 1 Yang Zing card from your deck to your hand. Once per turn, send 1 worm monster from your deck to the graveyard. This level becomes that level. If this face-up card leaves the field, you can special summon 1 Yang Zing monster. So, fun fact, he's one of the only Yang Zings that doesn't miss timing because of this, because he is an if, where the other guys are wins. Why? It doesn't really make sense. But again, guys, from here we can go chain link 1, chain link 2, depending on what you want to do. So we can grab that 9 pillars, and then we can go ahead and draw a card. Doesn't really matter what we draw. From here, guys, look, 9 pillars says this: when a spell, trap card, or monster effect is activated and you control a Yang Zing card, negate the activation, and if you do, shuffle that card into the deck, then destroy 1 other Yang Zing card you control. For some reason, I don't know why these cards, like, it doesn't make sense why all these cards miss timing, but whatever. We just gonna negate. Really crazy, right? But from here, guys, what we can do is we can go ahead and now proceed to use Denglong's effect. Denglong effect, again, guys, depending on what you want to dump, it can kind of go any other way. So again, we can go Denglong to dump Long Yuan, so it goes to 6. So if you have extenders, we can easily push through. If you have the tie, he goes to a 4, and then ties in the graveyard, so it's like an easy kind of like manipulation plays as well. Especially if you have like a reborn card, tie gets really good. We can send the Protos, because if you have an add card, we can go ahead and add this card. So like, for example, if we're under cards like Droll and Lockbird, Emergence can add from graveyard, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm not mistaken. But we can go ahead and dump this and then use whatever it's called, Emergence, to add Protos from the graveyard, or if you just have any other cards to kind of play around it, like banish it and then Adhara add it back. So works very well in that regard. But again, guys, the best card we're going to use is we are going to dump the Ashuna. The reason being, we have a non-effect monster token on the field. So from here, guys, we can go ahead and dump the Ashuna. He goes to level 7, I believe, or level 1,000,000, whatever. So that is something else to note. Like if you have another level 3 or something, he works very well. But from here, guys, we go ahead and dump. He goes to a 7. Then we use Ashuna's effect to banish to summon out our Shtana onto the field. So now this is pretty good as well. And I do believe that, I think this is like our 5th summon, so we can still get nibbed. I mean, it doesn't really matter because we can still play around it, but now we have Stana. From here, we can go ahead and synchro our monsters away into our Xixao, and this will trigger Xixao to go ahead and search. We will add Emergence. Okay, from here, guys, it's going to be very important what I'm going to tell you. Okay, guys, we essentially have 2 routes, right? So the first route, we're going to activate Emergence, add 1 Swordsoul monster from deck to hand. Okay, ignore that stuff that I said. I can't believe, I don't know why I was thinking, but you can add 1 Swordsoul monster from your deck to hand. So from here, we will use Emergence. Emergence will go ahead and grab us our Long Yuan. Now remember that extra name we had? We're going to use that name here. So we are going to go ahead and use Long Yuan, discard, summon out Long Yuan, and then summon out the token. And then from here, we can go ahead and synchro our monsters away into like a Xixing Long Yuan or a Chengying, or any other level 10 worm there is. I think it's just those 2, honestly, and I think there's like someone else, but from here, use Long Yuan, go ahead and burn, right? So now our board is basically a Xixao, which is an effect, Veiler, banish, and negate. Then we have a Xixing Long Yuan, which is a banish monster special summon and banish spell trap, and we also have an Omni negate, which is 9 pillars, which you can go ahead and pop, and then we can go ahead from there, we can go ahead and what do you call it? I already forgot what it is. Synchro summon or negate, whatever, right? So that is pretty good in that regard, right? 9 pillar negate. Then this is option 2, right? And this is the second route. So the second route is we're gonna reset really quickly for you guys just to show it. And from here, baby, like everything goes back. You know how it is, right? So from here we go ahead and activate Emergence, right? So she shall still search Emergence, right? So from here we can add Emergence. You guys see in the graveyard we have 2 waters and we have an earth, right? And we have water in our hand, so it does get a little weird. But I'm just showing you that it doesn't matter what attributes we open, we can always get to this plane no matter what. So from here, guys, we can go ahead and activate to get Protos, and then we can go ahead and proceed to actually link summon our monsters away into our Shaman of the Tenyi. Now this is pretty important because we are not synchro locked, we are only worm locked, right? And Shaman of the Tenyi only locks us from using monsters from the extra deck other than Tenyi monsters, so it's pretty important to note that. From here, guys, we can go ahead and use Denglong. Denglong says if this face-up card leaves the field, you special summon a 1 Yangzing monster from your deck. So again, this gives us extra fodder on the board. It doesn't really matter what you summon, so I was just showcasing here, like you can get the Yuan, you can get the Suwan, you can get the Beyond. It doesn't really matter. Really the purpose of this is just to have the 9 pillars live if you wanted it. Technically speaking, I do like to go for the Yuan play a lot better, but it doesn't really matter. I'm pretty sure it just like immediately lets you synchro summon, so you're not worm locked and things of that nature. But from here, I would usually just recommend to go for the Yuan. I'll explain it later on, but from here we can go ahead and use Shaman, discard the Shaman to reborn out the Shisha. And if you guys see in the graveyard, now we have guaranteed. So we have the earth, we have the water, and we have the light. You can use the Adhara to add back the Ashuna if you want, but then we don't have the earth in graveyard, so it's really important to not do that. From here we can go ahead and banish the 3 to summon out our Archnemeses Protos, and now we have, like, again, we have a bunch of plays, so we can call fire to lock them, so we can consistently get the fire lock, which is really good. We can also call lights to prevent it. We can also call dark. Again, it's safer in my opinion to just call dark, and the reason for it is because once we call dark here, or fire, you know what I mean, whatever, it doesn't matter. But once you call dark here, it's pretty good because now we have 9 pillars set, right? So the reason why I'm saying this is really important is because we called him for dark during our opponent's turn. We have a Shisha negate, but we also have a Chiwen where he says this blah 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 during your main phase, you know what I mean, whatever. So he is really good. And then I think it says that when a Yangzing monster you control destroy inside the graveyard while this card's your graveyard, special summon this card, and if you do, banish it when it leaves the field, blah blah whatever. So we still have the Chiwen, which is the negate with 9 pillars, and then we can keep on floating and keep pushing things that nature, guys. It gets really nasty really quickly, especially because like now we have little plays that even if we're in choke points, we can still push through it. Like Adhara and Mo Yi, I think is a really good starting hand. Like we special Adhara and normal summon Mo Yi. Now our opponent has to think like, okay, if I'm gonna imperm him, what's gonna happen? So again, I think it's really good in that regard. But that's it for the fourth combo, sorry guys. Now we're gonna quickly get into like a test hand that I just randomly drew into. All right guys, so now we're gonna quickly get into a test hand that I quickly like kind of ran into. So again, you guys will see it's a pretty crazy test hand, right? So it's Ecclesia access, which is basically Mo Yi access, Long Yuan access, and a Shun access, which is like the 3 best cards in deck, plus literally Pot of Desires and Infinite Permanence, which is just dead cards. So from here, guys, we normally summon Ecclesia, use Ecclesia tribute. Unfortunately, we don't have Baron, right? If you had Baron, again, Long Yuan discard, but we don't have Baron, so we can kind of pick our poison and kind of choose what we want to play around. But just for the sake of a test hand, I'm showcasing you guys kind of how good this deck is. So Long Yuan discard, summon out Long Yuan, summon out a token, and then from here, guys, we can go ahead and proceed to synchro our monsters away into our evil Long Yuan. Make sure you always Long Yuan burn in the graveyard. And from here, guys, we can go ahead and use a Shuna to banish to summon out our Adhara. So again, just kind of giving us more monsters on the board. We're already committed to Nib anyways. From here, guys, we can go ahead and proceed to synchro our Mo Yi and our token away into our Shisha. I thought about going to Denglong there, but it doesn't really matter because we already went through our Long Yuan and our Ashuna effect. So basically going to Denglong there, we're kind of new to the play a little bit. From here, we can go Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2, Chain Link 3. Again, draw 2 cards and search card. Like, bro, this is broken. Like, I'm drawing 2 cards and searching. I'm literally playing Pot of Greed and engage all on 1 card. Like, this is crazy. But from here, we activate Emergence. Emergence adds Protos, and you guys can see the attributes are already set up in the graveyard as are. From here, we can go ahead and link our monsters away into our Monk de la Tenyi. And then from here, we can go ahead and use it hard to banish to go ahead and add. Again, we still have our 3 attributes, and we still have a Shun in our hand, which is pretty good. Then we fire off Pot of Desires again, because, like, why not, honestly? Like, we're going to be drawing all sorts of cards. Like, I literally drew 4 cards, like Swordsoul Turbo. And I'm playing Vessel, which is crazy. Like, you can keep pushing if you want to, honestly. Like, you can go into Shaman plays, and it gets really, really nasty really quickly. But from here, we can go ahead and summon out by banishing our 3 attributes, which is really good from here. And then we can go ahead and set our blackout, and then we set our infinite impermanence, and you guys can see like what our disruptions are. So again, guys, a really standard test hand. I mean, really, like I opened cards that I opened 3 of, right? So a really standard test hand, guys. We're ending on a Monk of the Tenyi, which is crazy. I mean, not really, but Monk of the Tenyi is good because he's like fodder because you can blackout him. But we end on a Protos, which is a dark lock. We also end on a Shisha, which is a monster negate. We end on Shisha Long Yuan, which is very good. Like if this card sticks, it gets really problematic, right? Because you burn our opponent for 1200 off Long Yuan in the graveyard, and then you burn our opponent 1200 again off this guy, then 1200 again, so that's 3600. So it's putting our opponent down pretty low, honestly, like in very, very lethalable range, especially when you have cards like Protos and Blackout. And then on top of that, we have an Imperm. Again, it doesn't really matter. We have Blackout as well, so Blackout, pop the Protos or pop the Tenyi, it doesn't really matter. Popping the Protos is a lot better, honestly. Then we have a Nib for follow-up. On top of that, we still have a Vessel, a Shuna, and a Moyi, and our banish pile is like not even that bad, right? Because all our cards are literal 3-ofs. It doesn't matter if you have one of it in the graveyard. But that's it for the deck, guys. Again, the combos are really crazy. Protos enables just way too much, and I'm sure Konami knew when they banned it. It's kind of confusing why they added it back, in my opinion. Like, these type of floodgate cards should absolutely be banned. But if you guys like the video, please go and leave a like. Again, subscribe if you haven't already, guys. Check out my Twitch down below. I'm gonna be getting into Twitch. I'm trying to be crazy. Again, my name's Hamza. Like I would say, guys, keep on shining, never go on G. Peace.